This is Mr. with PP315 Plant Pathology Project Submission Cankers. My project subtopic is citrus tree cankers. Cankers are an open wound on trees that form in several different ways. Wounding of trees can be caused by mechanical injuries like lawn equipment scraping a tree. This is my basic example of that. You scrape against a tree with the lawnmower, this canker will continue to grow with the tree, and it's an open wound in which infection can occur and kill the entire tree. This could have simply been avoided by taking a precaution of either not mowing this close to the tree, being more careful, or just replacing the area around the tree with mulch so that you don't have to mow the tree, and it will avoid any such issues in the future. Wounding of trees can be the result of transplant shock, which I have displayed here. Let's say we were moving this tree from one place to another and a little piece of it got chipped off. This is still an open wound in which some sort of infection could incur. This is showing the irregularities of tree cankers. This is the normal shape that I'm used to seeing, like a circular sort of formation of the tree. Symptoms include round to irregular, sunken, swollen, flattened, cracked, or dead areas on the stems, limbs, twigs, and trunks. But these symptoms vary widely. This is supposed to show an adaptation of the tree, like forming a little circle, trying to rebuild, but the infection still occurred within this tree. This is showing calusing. As you can see, the bark became separated from the tree, but the tree continued to grow up very easily. The infection could just come within here, right between the bark of the tree, and it'll start colonizing right here. Another way that these infections can be transferred is if I took this piece of equipment, I started mining from this tree, and I just carried that right on over to another tree, and I started mining here. Then infection would be spread from unsterile equipment. The infections can also be through winter injury. This is showing a winter injury. Winter injury is when the water during winter within the tree freezes and some of the bark breaks off and creates this opening. This is also an example of a term called girdling, where the entire canker, it's around a whole section of the tree here. If an infection occurs within here, most definitely the entire area above this canker area will die, because it's infected not only here, but here within the open wound. So it'll spread up all throughout the tree. And in this example, we're going to pretend like that's not there. Through that winter injury, as you can see here, there's another open wound. This can be fixed in a way. You cut it back a few inches away from that open wound so as to make the tree healthier and avoid that infection. Infections can also be through sun scald, another natural infector. This is showing that a sun scald will have a separating of the bark from the tree. Very simply, the infection will just get within here and infect the entire tree. Whenever there's an open wound and the bark is separating from the tree, that's an area that's susceptible to infection. Those are the natural infectors of trees. They can also be the result of bacterial, fungal, virus, or mycoplasms, plant pathogens. They can also be spread by wind or animals. My project in specific was the citrus tree canker. This right here is supposed to be a citrus fruit. It doesn't look like it over there, but it'll show a discoloration, this yellow ringing around discoloration, brown and black spots. These black spots will ooze, and this is where the infection is. And wind can carry this infection, and it will infect all the trees within its area. Well, not all the trees, but the areas, the trees that are carried by the, where the infection carries through the wind. And lastly, this is an example of a citrus leaf, because canker diseases affect not only the fruit but the leaves, the stems, or the limbs, the twigs, and it can, if it's on the trunk of a tree like we had here, it will kill very likely the entire tree over time. Only half of this leaf is meant to be show the discoloration infection. This is like the normal side. You'll see yellowing, brown, black spots. That's the normal discoloration that's observed. That is my model of cankers.